Hello and welcome. Today's date comes in that of Monday, 2nd day of March 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades of the like. That's within each's own risk and their own reward. What I got planned to show in this video: Bitcoin, Hedera hash graph, H bar against Bitcoin, Tezos. That's the plan. I'm going to talk about fantasy, spreadsheets, management, little update on how things are going. And I haven't even looked recently at what gold, silver, and the stock market's doing. And take a look at that. And if anything significant's going to happen, then we'll go over it. So why don't I just now take a look at how the markets are doing. Gold, palladium, platinum. Oh, palladium's down 3, but still at 25. Wow. Gold up 0.3, nothing worth much going on there. Silver up 0.2, nothing much there. Dow Jones is up 713 points to it. I got to take a quick look at this. I put Fibonacci lines in just to yada yada. We'll see what happens. But yeah, let's go back to Bitcoin. And the lines in here, we can see how it resisted the 98.14. And this so I can do drawing tools. That's why I got it set up here. Daily chart after the sideways action. It's managed to make a move just to get to the declining 18 highs and match this level of resistance. It's still really got to move into the 91, 92 area to really start to say that this breakout is anything to take seriously. We can see it's been making nice patterns of just consistently going up on the higher highs and higher lows throughout yesterday's and today's session, getting above these previous two levels of resistance at 87.60 and 87 high change, now at 88 2/3 change, 88.68 that is, or 3/4. We have this level of resistance that yet quite hasn't hit, 89.41 up to 89.69. It does look like it's just a matter of time in today's session that it will at least get up to that point. If we take a look at this on just even other time frames, like say amongst the 3-hour term, we can see from this high, that was a shaky, whatever. From this high, there's a spot to try to get this bull market re-going again. You have this beautiful move, but this instant just crush it down, not even supporting where you came from, thus resisting it. But it did lower high rally it, but it failing in here in this long decline. And every single time it got to the 18, the February 27th morning, didn't get above it again, break down below, but it held support. Then it goes to the highs here again, and then all this 18 lows showing weakness, but again for its third and extended test, because period here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like really 7, 8 periods extending, just playing with the support level. We can see, interestingly, how these two acted. This is where technical analysis gets really interesting. Those 2 periods there, what does that tell us? Well, we had this long situation of supporting and even resisting the previous areas of key support. We had this amazing green candle, but I mean, bear markets, you're just getting up to the highs. You see all of these times in here where that's all it does, and it's just going to lower or matching high its previous levels. In this case, this high in here was a lower one, but this definitely a progressive situation, having these 2 candles hanging in with the highs like it does. Then you have the exiting. Oh, this thing's going wild. Well, it's starting to go good, and we just so far had little bits of gains, and nothing states here that this move is over. This is having a very nice bullish move right now. Now, as far as Bitcoin dominance is concerned, it's doing the reversal here. We can see it's breaking down. It broke out above here, February 24th, 25th, in the sideways range. It's just now breaking down below this area of support between 65.21 and 65.06. Right now, 64.95. So now entering into this previous key area here at about 64 4/5. Got another 15 or so basis points to get down there. Breaking down in here, I don't know how well you're going to work with Fibonacci. Maybe at this levels it might work, but this isn't normal. The math on it is, especially what I understand the math, if you did know what I'm thinking, it's very confusing in my head to even consider my mathematical fib. But all the other normal price charts, I love it, and I understand why it works. Or anyway, 64.37 area I think would be where the next leg lower would be if it breaks through in here. As far as this on the daily chart, we can see that it's been on the breakdown status. Is this just going to be a failed correction from the February 14th key low to what this high is? I don't know yet, but if I see weakness in the must hold area around 63 3/4, then yeah, I'm going to be thinking a breakdown below this, that this failed move is going to create a concise, decent move on the opposite direction, thus going lower. And that would mean, of course, altcoins overperforming that of Bitcoin. And when I go, I don't got too many coins that I'm trading against Bitcoin, But when I look at the list here, I got everything on the up. And H-bar is up 13%. We got Bitcoin Cash up 4, Bitcoin's, and this is against Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's up 4 against the dollar. So that means Bitcoin Cash is up like 7, 8 against the dollar. And H-bar is up maybe 16% against the dollar. LITECOIN against Bitcoin, 3%. So that's why Bitcoin dominance, of course. And when these things go up and down together, that's just what they do. So H-bar, why these Fibonacci levels just keep on doing what they do? Well, that's just it. Like, I put these lines in way before it came into this February 26th bottom, where 347 barely piercing below. Oh, surprise, surprise, comes into play. On the single hour term time frame, there we can see that bounce from there comes up and it establishes resistance at 430 area. Also, support got established in the range of 397 down to 380. We had this situation here. Look at these 3 periods in here. And even from the 5 a.m. period, the 6, 7, 8 o'clock this morning, how is just staying sideways, supporting this level of resistance that it had February 29th and February 27th. Interesting period here at 11 a.m., even the 12 o'clock. Like, what does this mean on like the 4-minute time frame? Well, we don't see any extreme volume come in. Maybe that could come in soon enough, but every one of these corrections so far is doing pretty good. I like right now how this is exiting amongst the play right there. And I thought Tesla's was looking pretty interesting, and it's up 4.5%. So let's just take a look at this one in here. Again, I'm just putting these Fibonacci lines. This is almost the exact same thing, barely piercing below this line. 28.16 was that. So if you look at this on the single hour, there's a spot where this continuous downcline just happens to stop here, and then it pierces above this, really 50% between these two lines, and a continuation of resisting the first fib line 32.46, attempting to break out here at 30 as support, but unable to get going here for much of a game around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on the 29th. Unable to get above the 18 average of highs for the rest of the session. We can see it showing weakness on the 18, and then it has this higher low rally to this point. So far, we've now lower highted to this. So you can all symmetrical in this. You can make uptrends from these levels. You can make downtrends from in here. But for the play right now, hour time frame, we had this breakout at 11 o'clock. So far, so good. If it can hold and stay above and maybe support within where 18 average of lows is rising, but support like 31.57 area, I think that's the deepest it goes. Resist this, maybe even come and touch 32.5, maybe a couple more periods, twice more, maybe over the next 6 or 7 hours, or twice more, meaning 2 of those hours. Then that would just create a good setup. And oh my goodness, it starts to break it. We're talking like 32.78, 32.90. Then you're talking about how it would probably be a concise, fast move to 32.48 as only a potential level of key resistance. And I know the lines make things a little bit, but if this thing gets above in here, and we have, there's key low, key high, key low, key high, and if this correction is only this, and it only comes down to the 28.16 mark, starts to break above these levels, now we're talking about breaking 4,000 and maybe hitting 6, 7, 8, 10,000. Who knows how large of a move that could potentially come into play. So that will be it for, actually I want to take a look at LITECOIN, because that 3% move is pretty interesting. So I want to take a look at that. I mean, its price is 0.007, so it's not like it's, it's really, really low overall. We can see just how low it is on this down move here. But this thing here, after having this very volatile February 26th session, continuing with this downward for 4 or so days, 5 days even, 4. This downtrend, but it obviously the original support that established on the 26th yesterday, it barely pierced below it, so obviously held it. On the single hour term, you can see how it tried to get above here on the 27th, ultimately not doing anything, but not really much of a fast move to the side. All it did was match previous low. Another attempt here, 28th breaking out above, and well, this is where it successfully corrected it for a while. Yes, it went below the lows, but it held and stayed above it. Had this attempt on the 29th, ultimately having the small fail. But again, we can see this previous level of support. That's all it did. Lately, we come in up here at this 18 stamp to the highs, successfully correcting on the barely declining lows. These little periods here, just enough to neutralize the 18, but there's the attempt to get things back going at 3 o'clock in the morning. Has a couple periods to make a high, which is just noticeably over this one. Okay, that's a good one. Back down to this level, previous support, nice. And interestingly, with these 3 or so periods, I was just making it back to the high it established at 5 in the morning, and then the breakout at 11 o'clock, and it's just been having a continuous nice move. Already decently, a decent leg. If it stops now, that's already good in that sense. We're now at this previous high. This is only a potential level of resistance. If this is resistance, you really now want what was to be support, 686, 685 area, well, 68 handle. The 68 low to 68, like 68.10 to 68.75. That little area to be like a big must hold if it does do it. But if we break out from here, now we're starting to talk about, what's the next key resistance post, the one from February 28th and 9th? Well, we got this one here on the 27th. That's in at about 725. Alrighty, that'll be it for the crypto point of view. I'm going to talk about daily fantasy because as hockey season came in, I've been a sports fan and a gambler pretty much my whole life. And I'm always trying to find edges in winning these games, which is pretty much exactly what cryptos is. It's a vehicle to play a bankroll game. How many Bitcoins do you own? How many of these altcoins do you own? What's their value against the fiat? All that type of stuff. It's a game. And so is daily fantasy. And as of about 3 or so days ago, this is what my results in hockey. I stated at the start, I think this is a winning game. And, well, you have these up moves and then a big cash. Decent wins here, another big cash, and then it goes even. Bad luck. That happens. And then some decent grinding wins, and then a lot of this bad luck. And in here, oh my goodness, what a bad luck run this was. I mean, day after day after day. And then a nice win. And actually, the last few days, I haven't downloaded the data. But this thing is actually up to about here now, probably about 58, 59. I'm doing good. I had a nice win yesterday and I won the day before that, which is not included on this. And this sideways range, that's just waiting for data, basically. I did state if I win 10,000, and I'm not too far away with the playoffs. It's almost, I'm almost thinking the way mathematics, a certainty, as best I can say, quote unquote, kind of deal, that I'm going to make it to that number, that I'd write a book. Really, it's 2 sections. One, I can write a cheap book on how you can do well, but I can't give away my best strategy. And in fact, I've even had one of my friends do very good with the strategy. In fact, even going through it and dissecting it and adding things to make it better, which is exactly why I like to have people that could be like, hey, yeah, check this out. And then they're like, oh, yeah, to me, check this out. And then that improves my game. And that's what I'm trying to do, is just do the best that I can. And with other sports, I wouldn't mind making 6 figures. And I think I can within the daily fantasy. But I do a lot of spreadsheet work. And showing just another one of my fun spreadsheets that I have. And that is the just every player's result and the dollar game. I got 68,000 plus data entries of everybody. Where am I? Let's find the AG47 on here. I didn't have many losing days on this one. Oh, this is a 1,500 player game. So I got all of these stats of everybody. There we are. This is me right here. 20 lineups. I finished 1,354 and this went out of 1,777. That's just what's going to end up happening in this game. And then when something like this happens, this means, and he does this, or she, probably he, puts every single lineup. You see, this is how many they play, but every single one in the same one, which is just interesting. So I got everybody's results. And this is going back to roughly just before the start of the calendar year. And my stats would be so much better the weeks before, but that's fine. So then I can go into another sheet, and as I just got, it's just set up for sheet 1 and sheet 2. And I put the stats in. I put the name in, and then I've set up the spreadsheet with all of these different formulas. See, we're going to have some false. Oh, these ones are true. So it just checks different things. You see true. Well, these must be a puck pilot. And here, oh, it is, because it's searching for only people that are puck pilot. And then I got it set up, count how many games they are. And then I set up for a score system based on how often they hit these top percentage fields, top 0.2. That means you have to finish in the top 1 per 500 people played. Top one for every 100 people. Top 5, or top 1 for every 20. And the top 20% is 1 for every 5. And then just the bottom field, just to see, just for something cool to see. But right now, Puck Pilot has been by far the best player, the only person with a score this high. And 103.3 is the score, where he's played 858 games. 1.716 represents how many times this player should be hitting the 0.2 based on the law of average. Now that's an easy math. This number multiplies 0.2 equals 1.716. That's why 858 equals 8.58 here. And mathematically, he's destroying this number again at 28. Top 5, I can see there, and the top 20. There. And what I'm doing with this person, I can take every one of the results, all 858 of these. And then I'm going to look at lineups in general because I got the spreadsheets. If I go to File, Open, I got all of these games in here. Every single one, because they never know when they're going to come into an advantage. So, do you even meta? Well, see, because I do this, it's going to probably come. Oh, there we are. 562 games, 91 score as well. Thing is, a lot of them are shared lineups too, but 1.1 has hit 2. This number is higher, this number is higher, and this number is higher. Always getting, that's a good score right there on the top 20. Only 562 games. I lead in games. Then these stats can come into play. And then for myself, I got 1,400 games. Even. Net score, 61.1 is the one, which is pretty good. But here's where it looks for me. I've got a lot of, just haven't hit it. Like, I've barely beat the law of average for hitting the top end scores that pay the best. 2.8, the number's 3. But here, for top 1%, I've done okay, 14 to 25. The top 5%, I was supposed to hit 70, but I've hit 132. And I'm crushing this number on the top 20. The bottom 1%, I'm supposed to hit it 14 times. I've only done it 10. The bottom 5 is supposed to have done 70. I've only done it 64. And the bottom 20, I'm supposed to have done 280. I've only done it 268 times. Also, if I get to a situation where maybe there's a game available where there's like 5 players playing, and I'm like, okay, and the thing tells you this guy is playing and that guy's playing, I'm like, oh, maybe it's this person, Shogood. He had 249. When I had 949, he had 249. I have no idea what these stats are going to be. 249's up to 359. Terrible score, negative 41. Has not won. Has had 3 finishes in the top 1 when you're supposed to have 3.59, so a little worse than average. A little worse than average in cashing the top 5 and just not cashing. Finishing the bottom a lot. Bottom 20, bottom 5, not really so much on the bottom 5, but definitely on the bottom 20. So I was like, oh, I don't mind playing this player because I don't think this player is putting that great of, it's a skillful game and is not showing the skill within the game. So, you know, these are the fun things that I like to do. And I'm going to bring it back to the charts. Now, just in conclusion for this video, as I'm going to wrap it up, but March 26th is the start of baseball season. And that's where volume is going to pick up. Then hockey playoffs. That's going to create two amazing things for myself. Number one, the increase of volume and action and bets that I can put out. And the profitability of the games, given one, you're going to have a lot of less experienced players enter the realm in these games. And the amount of scores, it's going to be like they're better games for my fantasy strategy in the playoffs compared to the regular season. Then baseball, there's going to be several games. That's why I figure this could easily be a 6-figure payday. So it's like, hey, I mean, if I can get any type of job that pays like 200, 250, 300,000 a year, it's like, hey, not bad. Pretty decent, actually. So I think a goal for like $250,000 just playing this game. And of course, I'm still going to be doing all the crypto stuff. So if anyone's interested in this strategy, and I don't think anyone will, but if it is, most likely how I would do it is one person says that they're going to want to play, then you're going to get a deal. And the deal is going to be expensive and cheap. It's going to probably be closer to $400 or $500 US for the information. It might even be a little more. But then I would be able to write the book, and then I'd sell the book for probably about $1,500 just for fun. If anyone buys it, there you go. I mean, this information is too powerful. You know, if I'm a poker player, I'm not going to sit at the table and say, yeah, this is how to win. Because, no, I'm playing against you, and you're using it. My ROI, return on investment, goes down. And if I sell this information and you come in next hockey season and baseball season and you use the information, I've even got basketball and football stuff that I can give that's pretty powerful, and you do that, it's not good, because especially for sports like hockey, because now you're competing with me, and well, you're going to reduce my ROI. That's just how it goes. And that's why I would have to do that. Now, I could write information on just how, and I could really just throw in a couple, 3 things that doesn't hurt me, that can actually help people, especially on the beginner or the lower stakes people who are trying to manage bankrolls of under a couple $100, $100, or $50. Because, if you got a $50 or $100 bankroll, I can help get that baby up so fast, especially with decent patience. And I mean by decent patience in several months. And on that, I can make like a buck. I could charge like $20 for $30 because I'm not giving you any information that's going to hurt my ROI along the way. Like within markets, a lot of times I can say, oh, this looks good, this looks bad, or I'm playing this, and well, let's get real. I'm not going to do anything to move these markets with these videos, especially if I'm looking at LITECOIN or Bitcoin or gold or silver. It ain't doing anything to touch the market. And then I talk about whatever these crappy coins and whatever, the ones that have low volume. Well, most likely nobody else is going to do anything or anything large within their bets, and maybe put like nothing, maybe $100, 1,000 or 2,000 in, which isn't going to move a market. So that's why I like that's interesting that I could do that, and that's just how it is. Even stuff like regular sports betting. Oh, tonight this team is playing this team, the over this, or I think this is going to happen. I've already made my bet, so I don't care about price changes anymore. So I can say, oh, this team is going to do this, go over this, and again, as if I would move the line. If I said, well, what do we got for hockey tonight? We got Edmonton taking on Nashville. And then we got Colorado taking on Detroit. Oh, God, what a game that Colorado-Detroit game is. If minus 1.5 Colorado, if you can get at least plus 130 or more, though Colorado's not playing as good. I mean, whatever picks that I just happened to say, and I'm not doing it. I'm just saying that it doesn't hurt me as an investor by giving it away. But if I'm like, oh yeah, this is how you dominate the baseball game, and then you're playing the same games as me, and now I got another whoever just dominating, because I'm going to find out within 1, 2, 3 days who the sharks are, or potential sharks are in baseball. I'm going to be curious to see if any of the same hockey guys. There's a few other ones that are dominating, including somebody who I've really helped along the way bring their bankroll higher, which is damn cool to do. Thus, in the score area, pretty much around mine, which is awesome. And go through different measures. I already know practically how I'm going to do it, and then when I look at the stats of what other people do, because it's like open face poker, I end up taking like let me just show you what it looks like when I open up one of the spreadsheets. So say last night's game, the last one, I did well. I didn't kick ass as far as first place, but here we go. 6th place, 16th place, 18th, 18th, 23rd. It just gives you all the players. And then we have who they have. So this information, I can just work with this. I can do a lot of fun stuff with this. And I did with hockey back in October and November. The stuff I did then I don't do anymore because I don't need to. And a lot of the stuff that I was looking at I can see without going too advanced. But come March 26th, when baseball season comes, there's going to be 3 or 4 games right off the bat. I'm going to be downloading these. I'm going to be dissecting them. I'm going to be looking for, okay, I'm going to look at these situations. What are these people doing? Who are the people that look like are playing every game that might be a threat? Who was doing the similar strategies that I am doing? And those are the things that I'm going to look for. And then they even give you little stats on here about all the different players, the drafted, how many fantasy points they got, so on and so forth. Thank you for tuning in to this video, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.